What are some practical steps that I could take to build my business, basically from a small agency to a size of your agency?
Okay, let's make some definitions here. You want to grow your business, right?
Yes.
Okay, what size is your business today?
Small. It's like a very small 2 partnership with maybe a couple of interns.
Okay, so it's a partnership?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll write that down. It's a partnership. And you have some help, like 2 interns, you said?
Yes.
Partnership, 2 interns. How much revenue are you guys doing a year?
Probably about 200K maybe.
Okay. 200K.
That's pretty good.
That is pretty good. And what are you trying to get to? What's your revenue goal?
As much as I can make. I don't know, million? I don't know what the limit is. I don't know where I should be heading for.
Okay.
What the goal should be.
Why don't we say that this is 2017?
Okay.
We will try to map out what 2018 looks like, okay? So a year from now, how much money do you want to make? Or gross, I should say.
I'd love to double if I can. Yeah.
Okay, a 200% growth is very ambitious. I like that, but that means you're going to have to do something remarkable.
Okay.
You have to be twice the human you are today.
Okay.
You really do. And I want you guys to start thinking about that. It's easy to say, well, I want to do 10 million, but what are you going to become? How have you transformed to become a person that is worth that much money? So let's say 400K. So Jung, how are you going to get to 400K? What are you going to do that's going to be different? Are you going to do twice the volume? Are you going to do projects that you can bill at twice as much for?
I'd like to definitely bill more and maybe bring on some more help, permanent help maybe, instead of just using interns possibly.
Okay, let's talk about that a little bit. When you hire more people, that's not going to necessarily increase your revenue. That's going to increase your expenses.
Right.
So let's not look there. So right now, we probably have a sales problem, what they call a sales pipeline, right?
Okay.
Or a sales funnel. Now, are you bidding on lots of projects and you're losing, or you're not having as many opportunities to bid on projects?
Second part, opportunities to bid on projects.
Okay, so you need more opportunities, right?
Yep.
Okay. The reason why I'm doing this and I'm asking these questions is because I don't want to just sit here and start writing solutions that work for me and not for you. And this is critical. When you guys are facilitating or you're doing business coaching, if you aspire to do any of this kind of stuff, you have to have a dialogue with the person. So a lot of this is going to sound less like traditional coaching, as you guys may know it, and more like business therapy. I need to get Jung to find the answer himself because this solution has to work for him. What's your close ratio right now?
Very minimal.
Wait.
It's pretty much all the clientele that I have are existing clients that I've had.
Okay.
So as far as going out and reaching out for new clients, it's been very minimal. That's why I'm here to ask those questions.
Right. This is a big problem.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, your $200,000 is coming from existing clients.
Right.
And are these existing clients referring you to new people?
No.
Okay. And why do you think that is?
I haven't asked, number one.
Okay, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Let's do this. I'm going to say referrals. So referrals, you haven't asked for them. Okay, so what we want to do is work on a thing from the bottom, like lowest hanging fruit. What's the easiest thing for us to get right away to increase our sales pipeline? Okay, we want to get more sales. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to make sure we squeeze every last little bit out of the people we already know, because it's very hard to onboard new clients. So what I would like to do is first to say to you, why haven't you asked them for referrals?
I guess I just never thought about that. And also, I guess in the back of my mind, I wonder if they would not like that because since I'm working on their stuff and they don't want to, try to overload me with work and expect that work will be slower. So those are some fears of those ideas,
That's a good point.
Okay, so this is one of those chicken and egg kind of problems, right? So you haven't been able to ask. Maybe it didn't occur to you. You're also afraid that if you ask for more work, that you wouldn't be able to produce it in the same way and things are going to be harmed. Or perhaps where a lot of people think about this is they don't ask for referrals because they're afraid that the person thinks, I'm not going to pay attention to you anymore. I'm dating the new company, and I'm not going to be giving you my full attention.
Right.
All right? Now here's the thing. The first part of this is you need to realize most people are not really concerned about you. They're busy running their business. They're trying to make ends meet. They're trying to balance work and life so that they're a good parent or a good spouse to their partner. So they're not really thinking about how is the axis of evil doing without us right now. So what I'd like for you to do is just to reach out to them to say, Johnny, I'm growing my practice. I've hired on some new people. If you've enjoyed the work we've done for you in the past, I would greatly appreciate any referrals. Do you know anybody that could use our services? What would they say then? You could play the role of the client.
Right.
Go ahead. What would you say?
I'm sure they would say, yeah, definitely. You guys have done great work for us. I mean, we have a really good rapport with our clientele, so, and we do great work for them, so they're happy with us, obviously. So I wouldn't see why they wouldn't. And I think the other aspect of it is, I know some of my clients, and they have good revenue, but they're also very small in the sense of like staffed. So they don't have a huge, I don't think they have a huge network of client, like other business people. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
No, that's assumption you're making there.
Yeah. Okay. That's an assumption, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
we have 13 people on staff here. So by most standards, we're considered a very small company, a small to medium-sized business.
Yeah.
I think we're under 50, so that qualifies. But 13 people. But you'd be surprised within this entire company how many people we know. And we tap into those things all the time, and that's how we sustain our business. So I think we need to destroy two assumptions, two mindset issues. One is if you ask for the work, then they think the relationship's going to be different. The relationship is going to be better.
Yeah.
Two is that, is it worthwhile to ask? Well, let's try and see what happens. This is, like I said, low-hanging fruit. We're going to pick that fruit off the tree, and we just want to take it, okay? We don't want to get a ladder out and risk our health and all that kind of stuff. Let's go for that. So I think a lot of times, too, we just don't know how to ask. So I think I've just given you a script on how to ask.
Yeah.
Okay?
Sounded good.
And Chris, so you're saying that's the low-hanging fruit. So you would recommend that we ask our current clients for referrals over pushing for our personal marketing,
No. That's step one. I say low-hanging fruit, then we're going to get the mid-hanging fruit, and then the super out-of-reach fruit. And we're going to do all these things. This is not an either-or policy. This is all the above.
Right.
You got to do everything.
Expand the net.
Yes, you do.
Yep.
Yes, you do. Are there any other hurdles that you guys personally have between the two of you, Mark and Jung, about how to ask for referrals? Any other hang-ups? Any other ideas that are holding you back? Mark, what about you?
For me, it's having my current clients explain what I do, because it's, I could provide a multiple set of services. So I think I just need to be more clear with my client to help them understand the services that I could provide.
Okay, are you trying to pivot?
Not just pivot, but expand services. So still stick to my bread and butter, which is doing video production for small businesses and personal work, but I'd like to get into different areas.
Okay. All right. That's perfect. So we didn't finish the script here. So when you ask them for a referral, say, do you know anybody that could use the services that we provide? And by the way, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but in addition to shooting, I also edit, or I also do color correction, or I also do events or product launches, etc. You have to help them understand what it is that you do. And you don't have to have a long, lengthy explanation. This is a relationship you already have. So it's just a matter of just telling them what you do. Very succinctly. Don't try to pitch it. Don't try to sell it. And if they say, like in Jung's case, where I say John, we'll just call you John now, okay? No, I'll change the name, Bob, so there's not a confusion.
Yeah, Bob. There you
go. So you do know a bunch of people. Would it be easier for you if you just gave me that information now and I can reach out and say I was referred to you by Bob? Is that okay?
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay, great. So I would just take down the information right now. The reason why I do that is because Bob's going to go back to his life. He's going to run his company, and he's going to forget, and it's going to be nagging me like, I wonder if Bob told anybody about us just yet.
Right.
So I don't want to be in the dark here. I want to take control of that relationship if I can.
Okay.
So Bob's like, yeah, you're going to want to talk to this packaging company, this print design shop, and this person who's launching a new product. Here's their information. Please use my name. I love the work that you guys do at the Axis of Evil. Let's do it.
Okay.
That way you can reach out yourself, and then that begins a sales process.
Right.
Then do you know how to type that email so that it goes out and it seems something like somebody would want to open?
What do you mean?
Well, now you're going to reach out via email, right?
Oh, to the new client.
Yeah. To the
new potential prospect.
Yeah. Right. So do you know how to write that email?
I think so.
Okay.
I could use some tips.
All right, let's talk about some tips, you guys. What you want to do is to work on your subject line and really craft this. The first thing I would suggest that you do is look up on the internet how to write marketing emails or write the most engaging emails or the best subject lines to open a new conversation about business or sales. Do something like that. Do a little bit of research. I'm not a writer myself, but you do need to put some time, effort, and energy into this so that it has a high probability of being open.
Okay.
Typically, I just write "Hello, Bob" or something like that.
Yeah.
You definitely don't want to write anything that sounds like a marketing thing right up front. You might just start with a really simple story. I was talking to Bob. He recommended that I reach out to you. I understand you have this kind of business. I would love to discuss any sales and marketing efforts that you're launching or anything that you might need help with in this space.
Okay.
Do you have time to grab a cup of coffee with me
Okay.
so I can learn about your business? Something like that.
And make it personal, because I feel like if you have a template that you're sending out, people will recognize that and they might just send you directly to your archives or not want to speak with you.
Yeah. So I try and make it personal. I keep it super short. Please do not tell your whole life story. People tend to do that with me for whatever reason, even when they know I'm like Mr. Snappy Crab, and I'm like, come on, I can't read this thing. Don't send me this whole life story. I just can't. Just get to the ask and then do the other stuff later. I went to a Simon Sinek talk. Simon Sinek is the author of Start With Why and several other books. But when I went to his talk, he said the order in which you say things really matter. And he gave this example, right? His example is something like this. Hey, Bob, it's been really a long time. We really need to catch up. I miss you. You're a good guy. Hope all is well. By the way, my daughter is trying to raise money for her field trip. Would you consider donating $200 for her cause? Thanks. What's wrong with that? What happens is if you start out with the pleasantries and then you go for the ask afterwards, it negates the pleasantries. We feel like, oh, you just said all that stuff so that I would feel compelled to donate.
Right.
So he just flipped the order, right? He said, hey, Bob, would you consider donating $200 to my daughter's field trip, whatever, initiative? By the way, it's been too long. We do need to catch up. I miss you. Let's grab a bite to eat or whatever. You see how just changing the order changes the dynamic?
Totally.
Right.
You go for the ask first, and then you do the small talk afterwards, so it feels genuine now.
Yeah.
That I'm not just saying that to prime you. And we have an aversion to that. We feel like, oh, I see. You don't really care about me. Because if somebody came over and said to me, Chris, nice jacket, I like it much better than yesterday's outfit. If you said that to me up front, by the way, you're looking for interns? I'm like, you're just saying that to manipulate me, and I know that, right?
So the order matters.
The order matters. And I'm not an expert writer. Let's be short and succinct. Let's get to it. Let's talk about how we know each other through our common connection with Bob. Okay. That's low-hanging fruit.